Okay, perfect. So let's begin with today's session and let's see what we have in for today's session. So I'll be talking about the contents that I'll be covering in today, and these are the things that you have today. So I'll define what is personal brand, why it is needed, what are the elements of personal brand, how to define your brand, tools for personal branding. So of course, there are some tools that you need always if you want to get into personal branding. Then I'll talk a little bit about LinkedIn for using personal branding. And then we'll have a Q&A session. So if you have any questions in between the session, so make a note of those questions and you can ask me at the end of the session. You can also stop me in between and ask, that's fine. But I always prefer to have it at the end of the session. So let's begin. So let's understand what is personal branding. Okay. So personal branding is the conscious and intentional effort to create and influence public perception of an individual by positioning them as an authority in their industry, elevating credibility, and differentiating themselves from the competition to ultimately advance their career. In short, personal branding is all about what you want people to see you or believe in you. As simple as that. Okay. So this is a long sentence, but in short, personal branding is all about what you want people to feel about you, know about you, understand about you, and hence by understanding you, you get a certain kind of reactions, you get a certain kind of behavioral change, you get a certain kind of opportunities in your career. So this is all about personal branding, and let's see why personal branding is important. Can you put in the chat box, any one of you, why it is so important these days? Or you can also put interact if you want to. Okay. So why personal branding is important? Because people always want to screen you online. The moment somebody finds somebody's name, the first thing he or she does is to go online, Google, and find out who that person is, right? So what happens? What happens basically when you leave someone a message? So for example, you have messaged something to someone, what happens? Think about it. Okay. As soon as you send an email to someone new person, you have sent an email to somebody who does not even know you, what happens? Right? Think about it. During a Zoom or online call, when others see your name under your photo, so your photo is visible and your name is visible, so what is the kind of thoughts they have in their mind? Okay. All of these questions have only one single answer. And also, when you send your resume to somebody else, some recruiter or some friend of yours, what they do first thing? Any idea what they'll do first thing? Any idea what they'll do first thing? After all these four things that you do or happen, what is
Check,
it that the reaction of the person opposite you?
check your profile on LinkedIn.
Yeah, that is one thing they'll do. Apart from that, if you're not on LinkedIn, what happens? I know many of the pharmacy students are not still on LinkedIn. Some of you are very lucky and you got it there first, right? So whenever this happens, the first thing a person has access to is Google, right? They'll just open the Google and then put the name. Have you ever tried searching your name on Google? If you have not tried, you search. It will be very interesting to know certain things that you never knew. Okay, try it later as an exercise today after the class. Search your name on Google and see what results you get. Okay, so when you do all of this, normally people Google you, right? That's the first thing people have access to. Today, even a 7-year-old kid knows that, okay, if parents do not know anything, or if they have to get some information, they have to just Google it. As simple as that. My 8-year-old daughter, she keeps telling me, in case I sometimes say I don't know anything about this, she'll say, okay, Papa, why don't you Google and let me know? Okay, so this is the change, the behavioral change that Google has brought in. And people always believe that whatever is there on Google is the fact and it's true. And so is your presence important on Google. And how can you be present on Google? By connecting with different profiles, by being on different places. And that's how Google searches you from those places and gets the results on when somebody searches your name, right? So let's see what. Fine, got it. So people always screen you online, and when you have a personal branding, it helps you to stand out of the crowd. It leads to the opportunities because you are standing out of the crowd. You say if you have 50 classmates in your own batch, and if you are standing out from them, then obviously it will have better opportunities for you. You'll always have better connections, and then you'll gain audience trust because you are there, you are showcasing what you can do for them, right? So this is what personal branding does for you. And now let's understand what are the different elements of personal branding. The first element is personality. Okay, first thing is you have to understand that you need to be somewhere. Okay, you have to define yourself as a personality, who you want to be in the eyes of people who are seeing you. You have to be authentic. Whatever you are, don't try to fake yourself. Faking is the most difficult thing, easiest thing, but then it leads to a lot of complications and difficulties. So do not fake, be your authentic being. You have to have a vision. Okay, unless you have a vision, you showcase them, you cannot define yourself as a brand. So have a vision, have a value. What are your value systems? What is it that you believe in? What are the things that you want to be known for? These are certain things that you want. What are the stuffs that you are committed for? Okay, these five elements will help you to define your branding, and all of this comes from one single thing, which is differentiation about you. And then this happens only if you have a mindset, right? These six parameters help you to differentiate from the crowd, and all of this come from your mindset. If you have the mindset to do certain thing, you'll do it, and how you'll do it, it all depends on how you're planning it, right? So these are all about the elements of the personal branding. Anything you wants to you got any clarification or doubt? You are unable to see my slides. Okay. Uh, People, let me know if you're able to see the slides. Type Y in the chat box if you're able to see the slide. Vivek
Yes,
says
sir.
he. Okay. So Vivek, maybe if you are logged in on your phone and if you are seeing my face, then you'll not be able to see the slide. You have to put the phone in landscape mode, and then you have to see the slides. Okay. So, okay, fine. Those slides are visible. Fine. So these were the elements of personal branding, and it all starts from your mindset. Okay. If you have the mindset to do certain things, definitely you'll do it. Now let's define personal branding. Okay. What is a personal brand? For you as an individual? Like, for example, if you take the example of Biocon as a company, Himalaya as a company, or Sun Pharma as a company, Lupin as a company. If you go to their pages, there is certain things that you see always consistent across everywhere, right? They have a logo, they have a color change, they have a vision statement, they have certain elements that always remain consistent throughout. So similarly for you, there are certain elements that you need to be consistent throughout wherever you are. If you're using LinkedIn, be consistent there. If you're using Facebook, be there. So whatever they are, it has to be defined that way. Okay, so number one is what type of content you will be posting. That are you using typing content? Are you putting some images? Are you putting some videos? There are a lot of people who do not feel like typing, so they simply record something and start posting, right? Even on LinkedIn they're doing it. So you have to define yourself. What is it that you want to share? What are your values and how do you want to get them across? So always we believe in certain things, right? I always believe in pharmacy, and I feel that pharmacy is the best profession. But then there are a lot of people who do not believe in this, right? When I believe in certain things, I try to prove it, right? I'll try to post content relevant to it. And one thing that I started, uh, you know, uh, just to showcase that pharmacy is a great profession, is I started conducting these webinars, and I started reaching to a lot of people and trying to help them that yes, pharmacy is not a bad profession. It's one of the best professions. The only thing is how do we take it, right? So what are your values? So you have to define your own values. Everyone, each one of us here, all 16 of us here have certain values. Those values are inherent. They don't change. The only thing is whenever we are on these platforms, what kind of values are we showcasing there? Okay. Who's your current audience? So everybody cannot be our audience. There are certain specific group of people or companies or processes, they are our audience. So we have to always define, as your own personal brand, you have to define who is your personal, who is your current audience, and who would you like to attract. You cannot attract everyone, and you cannot become a khichdi, right? You, all of you know khichdi, right? In South we call it pongal or khichdi, in North India. So you cannot be a khichdi, you cannot have everything, right? You can have only one kind of people to showcase yourself as specific person. And what is it that you want to achieve with your brand? So you have to always have a, you, once a brand identity is established, you have to define what is it that you want to achieve through that brand, right? That's important. So clear till here, just let me know CLR if it is clear. Any doubts, let me ask. You can ask me the doubts so that I can try to clarify. Okay. Type CLR if it is clear till here. And yes, thank you, Rajat. Okay. Then what are the most knowledgeable, what are you most knowledgeable and passionate about? So some of you will be interested in, say, pharmacovigilance, some of you will be interested in medical writing, some of you will be interested in, say, FR&D, R&D, some of you will be interested in QA/QC. Many of you are also interested in data science, artificial intelligence, and all of that latest technologies. So you have to define all this in your brand and then try to showcase what you know about it or what you are interested about it. Okay. What tone of voice would you like to use? What kind of sentences are you using? What kind of content are you posting? The tone is very, very important. Okay. How will you best communicate your message to your target audience? What process you or system you want to use to communicate your message? Like, for example, many people prefer to write log post, like they write just pages of content. Some people, they just do not want to do that, just simple, they put one image and write few sentences. Some people prefer to put video posts. So what is it that you want to use to convey your message? Who are you and what is your position in the industry, right? So it is very, very important to define your current status in the industry. Who are you? So like some of you may be students, some of you may be working professionals, some of you may be willing to get into industry, some of you will be willing to get into higher education. So who you are as a person, as a pharmacist, you have to define all these 8 elements in your brand. So write your name and just put all these 8 elements and see what is it that you want to define and how is it that you want to define your brand. Okay, this is the first step of personal branding, and this is very, very important. It has to be consistent everywhere. Okay, it cannot change. Like today you'll put something else and tomorrow you'll put something else. So many pharmacists have this, doing this mistake all the time. They'll put content related to pharmacovigilance today, tomorrow they'll put something related to R&D, day after tomorrow they'll put some video, something from WhatsApp. So what happens is when I see or anyone sees you as a personal brand, sees them as a personal brand, they'll be confused. They'll see what is this guy wanting to tell, right? Always there is a different content in the post. Always there is a different mindset in the post. And I have seen, yesterday I got some resume. I don't know, some of you might have sent. I'm not sure. I got 2 resumes yesterday. Obviously not from you, but somebody else has sent. This is somebody else has sent, and this resume says areas of interest, and this person has written 6 area of interest in the resume. Now imagine you are sending for a job profile, in a company, and you send this to HR. Are you, what is it the HR expected to do after seeing 6 area of interest in one resume, right? So this is a challenge and this is a problem also, which is why we are all, many of our pharmacy students and professionals are struggling today. Okay, so we have to have one focus, one goal always. And if you are sending for pharmacovigilance, just say you are getting into interested into pharmacovigilance, and this is why you are interested into pharmacovigilance. Somebody has to tell you, tell the recruiter that why is it you are interested into pharmacovigilance. That why is very, very, very important. Just let me know if it is clear. All these 8 points are clear. They are very simple, but yet they are very powerful to help you define your brand. Clear? So if you say clear, I'll continue with my next slides. And if you don't, then I'll stay here for some more time. Perfect. Thank you, Swati, for confirming. And these are the 8 elements you should always remember whenever you want to establish yourself as a brand. Okay. Perfect. That was all about, the different steps, and now let's see what are the different tools. Always you should have the mindset to do certain things. So there are people who say, no, I'm not capable of doing this. I'm not, I do not have this skills. I do not have that skill. So they always have the cribbing mindset. They have the fixed mindset. There are people who always find a growth. They, even though there are problems, they'll say, okay, fine, let me try this. There is a better option to do this, and why cannot I do this? All these questions they'll ask. So you, whether you have a fixed mindset or a growth mindset, defines how you are going to establish yourself in this world of personal branding. Okay, so you should always focus on growth mindset and should not have the fixed mindset. All most of us has, have some kind of fixed mindset, but always try to change that to growth mindset. That is very important. Okay, perfect. Personal SWOT we understood yesterday. I'm sure it was a life altering session for some of you when we did the personal SWOT analysis. And if you do it religiously, diligently, at your own place, at your own comfort, then you'll realize how much difference it can make to your branding, how much difference it can make to your own personality, right? Type agree if you agree with that, what I'm saying about SWOT analysis, right? Many of you never knew that certain such a thing even exists. Many of you would be surprised that you have so much of strength, so many beautiful abilities, excellent abilities that you never ever even thought of, right? So SWOT analysis is one of the best thing that you can do, and this will definitely help you to define your personal branding and take this to the next level. Because when you do the SWOT analysis, you know where you are heading to, what is your future plan, what is it that you want to do, what are the stuffs that you want to improve on, what are the steps that you want to take to improve those problems that you have, or in uh, deficiencies that you have, what are the skills that you need. So when you know everything about you, it becomes much more easy for a growth mindset to shift from a fixed to a growth mindset, right? And then next is find your passion. The SWOT analysis exactly does that, and it will help you to identify what is it that you're passionate about. The strength, the series of strength, there is always a pattern, and this pattern will help you to understand what is it that you are most passionate about, how can it change your career. So that is something called as niche, and niche will help you to identify your passion to a greater extent. Okay, moving on. Build your profile. So once you have the person, all these first three things ready, then you have to build your portfolio. And in the portfolio, the most important thing is to give. The giver and attitude or the mindset is most important, right? You should always be giver, give values, and values come from your mindset, your personality, your passion. Okay, you should always be the giver and giver of certain things. Of course, not all the time free, you can also charge, that's fine, but always have be the giver and not always be a cribbing person who always just seeks for something from somebody. Okay, and then next one is networking. These are the important tools for personal branding. And let's move on for LinkedIn. Now, we just understood that these are the basic elements for any personal branding. Now, LinkedIn is one of the biggest platform, one of the best platform today where you can establish yourself as a personal brand. Earlier, it used to be Facebook at some point of time, but now it is totally LinkedIn, and I really vouch for it because of the benefit it actually offers. Okay. So let's see what is it that we have in this. So always, for any personal branding, you have to be your own self. Never try to showcase something that you are not there. Always be the person you are. Okay. That's very important. Use a professional photograph, preferably with a smile. Okay, always front facing and with a smile. Some of you have hidden the photograph, some of you don't want to put the photograph. I don't know the reason why. When you are going to a recruiter, can you not showcase your photo? When you're working in a workplace, can you not showcase your photo? You have to, right? So why not put that photograph on LinkedIn as well, so that people can connect, people can recognize you, people can know more about you. Always try to have a smile on the photo, because smile is something that says so much about you, right? Maybe something like this. I'm smiling here and I'm putting a photo that people can recognize me, and that really helps me. So another thing is, when you put a photo, it increases your profile views by 21 times, and you can get more than 9 times connection requests, and more than 36 times more messages from people. Smile is important because it connects people with you and makes sure that your face has majority of the frame. Don't take just selfie holding camera like this, or a group photo with 5 friends, or trekking or showcasing something else. Face is important here, not anything else. Okay, clear? So if you have not done that, please put it, after this session. Just take one normal photo, ask one of your friend or, a family member to take a picture on a plain background, crop it and put it there. Just smile, no problem. You don't have to go to a photo shoot or, buy some expensive equipment for that photo. Not needed, all of that. Okay. Next, always your profile has to have a about section. The summary, the summary talks about who you are, and then what are the experiences you have, what are the top skills you have, and what are the passions. This is important because people will not go for reading the whole content on LinkedIn. They'll just see your photo. If they get excited or interested, they'll just go to the about section and they'll try to understand you. And if they find it interesting, they'll connect with you. If they don't find it interesting, they just go from there to another photo, because LinkedIn has 840 plus million members, right? So there is always an option for them. So that's it. This is not so important. Let's move on. Share your professional journey or works. If you are a fresher, if you are in the college, I'm sure every day when you are learning, there is something which you are learning different, and there is something that you are really excited about. So if you are working, you can always find and put your professional experiences or works. But if you are a student, you can always write something that you have learned on that day, and why that is important for you to put it to the next level. Always put those learnings which you think are important. Don't just say it was an interesting class, and this is how I looked in the class, these are the photos of my class. Don't say all of that. These are not needed. You have to tell what was the values, what important things you learned. So yesterday when I gave you assignment, day for yesterday when I gave you assignment, that was the very purpose. So some of you have written just one sentence, interesting video, nice to know all of this. But some of you have really written good content which showcases your learning and the way you have grasped the content, right? This is very, very important because people always want values. Okay. When you are listening to something, when you're reading something, there are always a lot of thoughts coming into your mind. And what are those thoughts you have to express? You cannot simply say, this was great. This was great means what? What was great in that? You have to define that. You have to showcase that. And based on your own personality and understanding, that is how that is going to define you as a person, right? Is there any restriction in the word limit? Yes, it is 2000, I think 2000 characters it has. Okay. If you have more, then you can always attach a PDF or media or video files. That is okay. Yes, should it be short, or if it should always be short, because people have a very short attention span. So the longer, the more content you write, the more people discourage to read that content. So always have it in a very, very shorter paragraphs, maybe 2 or 3 lines maximum. And first line has to be about you, second has to be experience, third about your values, fourth about your passion. So this is a flow of how the information has to be. You can see any of these LinkedIn influencers pages, and then you can try to copy some content from there. No problem. Copy means follow that content. Don't just copy and paste. Okay, you'll get some ideas from those contents. So there is always the restriction of the word limit, and the restriction is important because If there is no restriction, we'll be writing so many words, right? And when there is a restriction, we'll try to convey the message in a shortest, crispiest format for our user or the audience. Clear? Perfect. Thank you. Okay, professional journey is important. And you on LinkedIn right now, if you see, there are so many pharmacy professionals who are thought leaders. So you can follow them. Some of them are this president of Mankind. You can follow him. He's a great guy. He gives a lot of promotional thing, a lot of what is that? Inspiring thoughts. You have Biocon's Kiran Majumdar. You have Novartis. What is his name? I forgot his name. He's the CEO of Novartis. He puts a lot of content, a lot of interesting thoughts he puts. So you can follow all these guys. And if you're not related to pharmacy, if you're not interested in pharmacy, you can follow anybody else also, no problem. There is this Byju's CEO. There is this Apollo CEO. They put some nice and interesting content. You have Bill Gates, who's always, yeah, Vas Narasimha, yes, Rajat, thank you. So there is this Bill Gates who also puts nice, interesting thoughts and contents. You have Richard Branson who puts in interesting thoughts. So these are people whom you can follow and follow if you are really getting value. If you're not getting value, please don't follow. And the same thing holds good for me also. If you're getting value from my post and content, please do follow. And if you don't follow, because it's a waste of time for you, right? Unnecessarily you'll get notifications you're not interested in, and simply you'll scroll and you'll be losing your time. But don't follow people if you're not getting value from them. Follow you only if you're getting value and that is interesting for you. Okay, so that is all about LinkedIn for personal branding, and let's see what are the key points that we had today. So always be in the action mode. You cannot say that, okay, I'm active today, and then for next 3 days I have exams, so I don't want to be active. No, you can't do that. For exams, it's perfectly fine. You need time to read, but what is stopping you to spend at least 20 minutes on this platform? 20 minutes is not something that is big, right? 20 minutes is easy. You can easily spend, and these 20 minutes are something wherein you can connect with people and you can interact with people. Always be in the action mode. If you're posting content, post them regularly, post them interestingly, and do not just copy and paste something from somewhere. If you're copying and pasting, always give credit to the author, to the original author. Whoever has posted for the first time, do give credits. Many times we have seen on LinkedIn as a platform that simply people copy and paste, and somewhere the original author finds out and he comes and puts a comment, and then that becomes a, lot of discussion point happens on that comment. It is not right, and it will also be humiliating for us, right? So for example, if I copied and posted something and somebody comes and says, okay, hey Manoj, why did you copy and paste? You should have put my credit. It's a wrong way of, you're not professional, you're this, that, and everything he puts there in my comment. It'll be so discouraging, and it will not be nice, right? So always be in the action mode, but be in the action mode for right reason, not in the wrong reason. Just because I told, okay, you should be active, and you said, okay, fine, I'm active, and then you just copied and pasted some content and a lot of controversy happened, and then you said, okay, Manoj told me to be active and that's the reason I did this. Please never do that. That's a wrong way of doing it. Okay, so being active means being original. So we talked about those values, those tools that you need. So those values should be consistent throughout. Okay, your personality should be showcased, your personal professionalism has to be showcased, and all of that. Okay, so always be true to whatever you are posting, right? And this is something that I wanted to. Okay. Okay, your career is a never ending story, and unlike a book with an ending, your LinkedIn profile is an evolving story that reflects your past, present, and future. So, people will be, you cannot delete, even if you're deleting, that post remains on LinkedIn's platform, right? So, it's a evolving process. So, people are able to see your last 2 years post, today's post, and also they'll be able to see tomorrow's post, right? So, it's a continuous process. And when it is a continuous process, it will show the actions you have taken during that course of time, right? So if you go to my post, for example, my profile, you'll be able to see last 2 years, 3 years, or even 5 years post content. I was not active much before the pandemic. Sorry. So before the pandemic, I was not so active, and when I active during the pandemic, I started posting content. That is when I got connected to a lot of people like you, wonderful people like you, and that is when we started this journey. And that is when I thought, okay, the consistency is important, and I attended so many workshops and then learned so many things about LinkedIn. So it's always evolving. There is always new things that we can learn. There is always if there is a bad experience we had, there is always a possibility of improving it through our learnings and behavior. So always have that learning journey and learning attitude and be in the action mode. Remember, you people won't what people won't give you jobs because you desperately need one. How many of you see that a lot of pharmacy people, students, they'll be writing big stories on LinkedIn saying that they're searching for job and pharmacy has spoiled them, and they need a job desperately because they have a family to feed and all these things. Do you think such people will be able to give you jobs because of that desperation? No. Because there are HRs, they'll be seeing that post, they'll be smiling probably and going heading to the next one, right? So don't show your desperation. I'm sure all of us have problems. I also have a lot of problems, but I never talk about it in public. That is not the place to talk. Okay. When we have our own problems and we are supposed to deal with them, don't show that desperation there. Why you are here, the moment you show that desperation, people will be feel that the same behavior will continue in the company also. There is no guarantee that after you are getting into that job, your behavior will change. You might show the desperation that this is a bad company, this is a bad boss, and this is a bad thing happening to me, please get me another job. So this continues, right? So if you are desperate in one place, there is no guarantee that that desperation will change. So the behavior always remains the same. So change your behavior, because desperation leads to nothing. Okay, but it's always a frustration. People will not hire you because you call yourself an expert. You have to show that expertise. So if I say that I'm an expert in XYZ, and when a chance is given, I'm not able to show my expertise, then it's a waste of time for everyone, right? So people will hire you only if you can showcase what you have, what you can do for them. People always want value additions in their lives. Companies always want value additions in their life. So when you go for interview, the company might give you a chat, problem statement, tell you that, okay, these are the problems we are facing, can you suggest how can we create a solution for it? And then if you are an expert, you'll be able to handle that. If you're not an expert, then you will not be, but your resume says that you are an expert, and that is why company called you for an interview, and that proves that you are not able to do it. So it's very, very wrong. Please put the expertise related to your expertise, and not just because you like that word fancy and you have put it. Okay, clear? Type CLR if it is clear. And if you find people who are so desperate to search for job, help them, and tell them that this is not the way and this is how you should be doing it. Most of us, uh, say that, okay, this is not the right way, but will not tell you what is the right way. It is not again the right. Okay. So for example, if I go to some post and see that, okay, that person is so desperate, she or he is looking for a job, but then I just simply put a comment saying that, hey Rajat, this is not the right the way of putting the post, and then I move on. Is this right? No, right? I should be telling that what is not right. So I should be telling that, okay, this is not right because of this things. You should be following this thing, and try to do this thing so that you can get the job, right? Always provide a solution. Don't provide problems. Don't give problems to people, because people are already suffering. They always have certain problems. So never add problems to their existing problems. Have a solution mindset. Okay, education is important, and it is very, very, very important. What is that, Mohit? What you have written something? Always some put education details in ascending order. Wait, sorry, I didn't understand. Can you just tell me what it is? You can unmute and talk, no problem. Mohit, okay, no problem. Okay, they start with 10th. Yeah, got it, correct. So you are not supposed to do it. So if you have done M Farm, that means you have already done, 10th and 12th, right? So you don't have to showcase what you have done in 10th and where you have done 10th. That is not needed. Just tell M Farm and then B Farm is good enough. Okay, fine. So would you have, okay, this is done. Yeah. People would, and what would, yeah, let's see. Okay, people would connect with your personal brand. This always happens, and I am, a living example of that. People have connected with me. I've got so many projects through my LinkedIn connections, and I have helped, about 60 to 70 people have been placed through LinkedIn. So people definitely care for it and care for your personal brand. People will give you opportunities because you are an obvious solution to their existing problem or requirement. So if a person or a company is facing some problem and they feel that you can be a solution, then you get that opportunity. Okay, clear? When I say action mode, these were the two important things that I wanted to tell you. LinkedIn is a gold mine. LinkedIn has more than 800 million plus, people, and so many companies are existing. There are more than 70 million people from India itself, and most of the company owners, CEOs, MDs, and all these connections are on LinkedIn. So LinkedIn is a gold mine. The only thing is how you are utilizing it. It changes your perception and helps you out. You can attract potential recruiters and business opportunities through LinkedIn. That is already obvious. If you establish yourself as a good brand and showcase what you can offer them, then definitely you can get those opportunities. Okay. Surround yourself with your future profile. Say, for example, if Rajat is interested in data science or artificial intelligence, he should be connected with people who are in data science and artificial intelligence. And when I go to Rajat's profile and I see his connections, that will showcase me that yes, he is the guy whom I'm looking for as a recruiter. Okay. So you have to always surround yourself with your future profile, not your past profile. The past is your college students and your school's friends, that are all fine, but where you are heading to is very, very important, and that is what helps you to define your personal brand and the professional brand on LinkedIn as a platform. Okay, so if you want to improve, okay, surround yourself with people with better habits. Those better habits are relevant to your profile. Say, for example, if I'm interested to improve in medical writing, then I'll connect with people who are medical writers and who are doing great in medical writing, and that is how I'll start learning those habits and behaviors and techniques and resources from them. Okay, so it is very important to surround yourself with people about or relevant to your future profile, not your present, not your past, future profile. So always focus on that, and it will happen only if you have done your SWOT analysis correctly. Okay, so I'll tell you an example. Okay, a few days back, I had this one-to-one call, okay, with one of the pharmacy students from Hyderabad. So she calls me and she says, "Okay, sir, I'm facing this problem. I'm not getting this job anywhere, and I've been sending resume to about 5, 6 companies every single day." So I asked her, "Okay, fine, send me your profile, and let's." I don't want to share that profile here, but then she sent me the profile. So she sent me the profile. It is 5 pages profile, and it has everything related to her hobbies, her music interest, her dancing habits. Then she has written that she is interested in pharmacovigilance, medical affairs, medical writing, data management, 5 different things. Okay, and then she has written from 10th standard to M not M I think PharmD, and she has also given all the webinars she has attended. Okay, about 50 of them. So that is like 5 pages of resume with so much of content. Now, if you see that resume and if you are a recruiter, so for example, I'm into medical writing, so I'll be looking for certain specific traits or qualities of that person with respect to medical writing. Okay, and if I get such a kind of resume, then what really happens is I'll not be able to understand in what profile this person will fit, because nowhere in that resume you'll be able to showcase, you'll be able to highlight that this person is interested in XYZ profile or medical writing profile, right? If you see that list of the webinars she has attended webinars on social sciences, she has attended webinar on digital marketing, she has attended webinar on website making, everything she has done. And it is so difficult for a recruiter to understand as to where this candidate will fit. So if you are applying for a specific profile, focus yourself in that profile only, and profile has to be updated according to that profile and sent to the recruiter. So this will happen only if you remain in that zone. Okay, when I say zone, this is what I'm referring to, this image on the system, on the screen right now onto you, right? When you are in that zone of people who are in that domain or profile, you know what exactly their behavior is, how exactly you are supposed to behave, and what exactly you are supposed to showcase in your profile. Okay. Okay, so Rajat says, are my connections accessible to any visitor of my profile? By default, yes, but you can block them. Okay, so there are settings. If you go to the settings, you go to the privacy settings, you can change that, what people can see when they come to your profile. Okay, by default, these are visible to everyone. Okay, and when I say everyone, only to those who are connected to you, not to third or second degree connections. Okay, so Dr. Avanti says, I have a question, sir. If any HR is approaching you for their opportunity in their company, how to say that I'm not currently looking for any opportunities without hurting them? Or can we ignore those messages? Yes. So, Dr. Avanti, so please put the messages for open for all so that everyone else can also read those messages, unless you are something talking something which I don't want to share here. Okay. So if you want me to share something here, yes, thank you so much. So basically, when if you want to do that, there is a setting in the profile that you are not right now open for such opportunities. Okay. By default, what LinkedIn does is showcases to any recruiter that you are right now open and interested to try in some opportunities by default. Okay, but when you go to the settings, so when we discuss this in our next class, networking, I'll be exactly walking you through all the steps and processes in LinkedIn, and then you can actually work on LinkedIn profile on the same day and update it. Okay. So I'll be step by step walking you, and I'll be helping you understand how you can do the networking. So that's a networking class that will happen on Monday. So be attentive, be present. And if you can attend that through your laptop, it will be really great because you can do simultaneously what I'm teaching on that day. Okay. So you can do that, you can block that, and you can showcase that you are not right now interested. Another way of telling you that you are not interested in any job positions right now is to put in your bio. Okay, just below your name you have a 180 characters length of space where you can put some text. You can say that right now you are experiencing this profile of whatever company you are working in, and you are doing great, and you are not interested to change. Or put it in a subtle way, don't say you are not looking for a change, just put that you are loving your current job and you are doing this XYZ value addition. So when people see that, okay, this person is so wonderfully doing whatever she or he is doing, they'll not approach you for a job. Obviously the MDs of the company might approach you. This is what happened with me when I was working in my first company. This MD, he was like, of my last second company, he was messaging me on LinkedIn for a long time, and finally at one point of time I was so influenced by his messages that I decided to resign and join his company, and that is how I went to my second company. Of course, I didn't want to leave my first job and join the second company, but the way he used to message, the way he used to inspire me, the way he used to talk to me regarding the different things or plans the company had, this really helped me to change my decision of shifting from one company to another, and it happened. And this, Dr. Avanti, for a regular recruiter, you might be able to avoid, but for people who are premium members, they can still message you, and they can also still talk to you. The same thing happened with me in the year 2011 when I was working for my first company. For about 6 long months, this MD was, continuously messaged me. So every 10 days he'll message me and he'll tell good things about the company he was in. and he'll used to excite me with the great opportunity that company can offer me. And that is when one fine day, because I was working on some digital project, and he talked about digital, and that completely changed my mindset. And immediately I resigned from my first job, and joined the second job. So it happens, and if it will happen, if people really find a value in you, people find that okay, this is the person who can change the way my company is proceeding, this is the person who can change the current requirement that we have in the company. So this will happen only if you showcase yourself as a brand who can solve problems for people with xyz, who can provide solutions for companies with xyz problem. So give a problem statement and say this is how you are going to solve them, and people who have these problems will naturally contact you for that solution that you are offering. Okay, so clear? Type CLR if it is clear. And that comes to the end of this class. Perfect. So thank you so much. If you have any specific question, I'll try to answer them, and then we can go for a wonderful day ahead. Because okay, so perfect. If you have any questions, you please do ask me, and then obviously we'll learn more during the days to come. And when you are attending these sessions, and if you're not taking any action on your profile, then it will simply will not help you out. So take action. Proactive action is very important. Somebody should not be back of you to take action. It is your profile, it is your life, it is your world. So take that action to make the difference that you want to make in this world. Okay. Perfect. So if you have any questions, you are most welcome. I'm here for another 10 minutes. You can ask me anything relevant to today's topic or anything relevant to pharmacy careers, and I'll try to, answer to the best of my knowledge.